Hi, and welcome back to Wisdom River Lodge. Another show I got it right. It's been a while since we've been on the air, and I'd like to thank all the people who wished me well while I was ill over the last few weeks. And thanks, I appreciate the prayers and the thoughts and the kindnesses. And here we are back again. So, a lot's happened and a lot's been going on. First off, Wisdom River Lodge would like to extend condolences to our director, Mark, who recently lost his mom. And we're sorry, Mark, but we know that we're going to be talking to your mom before too long here. So, and our camera person, Satara, is safely in Australia and hopefully having a great time. So filling in for her is her Uncle Corey. So thanks a lot, and we'll be seeing Satara back pretty soon. And hopefully she'll have some good stories for all of us. Our next show is going to be Tuesday, July 21st. That's in 2 weeks from now. And we're going to be back on a regular schedule now, so we'll be seeing you every couple of weeks. The first and third Tuesdays of the month are our regular dates, and then you can watch reruns in between times. So keep an eye out and check us out. Big news that I haven't been able to tell you, but on Friday, the 10th of this month, this Friday, from 7 to 9:30 at the Houghton Mansion on Church Street here in town, we're going to start doing a monthly spirit circle with the Berkshire Paranormal Group. It's going to be a blast. It's $20 at the door, and seating is going to be somewhat limited, although we are expecting that we should be able to handle a good number of people. So come on over. My contact John over there and I have been having a good time getting ready for this, and we can tell you that the spirits over there are very eager to sit down and talk with us. So come on out, and we're going to have a good time. Let's see, what else? I think that just about covers that for the announcements. I would like to say hi to a couple of friends of mine, and Merrick, if you're watching. Hi. And Diane, it was good talking to you, and we'll be talking again soon, I hope. Diane was the woman who called and won the pendulum from the last homework assignment, and wanted me to do some work for her, and we've done some work and cleared up some of those issues, only to bring up even more questions for her. So anyway, the pendulum business with the homework. Now I know it's been a good month since I've been on the air, but does anybody remember the homework from a month ago? I'll confess I had to watch the last show to remember myself, but I do know, and there is a pendulum up for grabs. So if you remember the homework, it had something to do with auras, right? If you remember the homework, give us a call. The number here for the studio is 664-4408, although I see that, yep, there it is. And we are live. We're only on for half an hour, so get to the phone and give me a call and tell me what the homework was, and I'll send you out a pendulum. While I'm thinking of it too, I've added some stuff to the website. I saw that they had the website up. Oh, you guys are good, thanks. Thanks very much. WisdomRiverLodge.com. You can go on the website and get information about the Spirit Circle that's coming up this Friday. The calendar is there to tell you when we're going to be on the air. And I've added a page about water healing stones. And if you're interested in the environment and healing the environment, that would be an interesting thing for you to read. It's based off of a number of people's works. And there's a doctor in Japan, I think his last name is Emoto, who has figured out that water is a living thing, and that pretty much makes sense since we're all 70% plus water. And water responds just as we do to positive and negative words and pictures and music. And what he's done is he's been able to freeze water and separate out the crystals so that when you expose them to different things, they either make very pretty crystals or they make really nasty crystals. And that's all on there. And he and some other people developed a ceremony called the Great Declaration, where they actually have been able to heal bodies of water around the world. And that actually is within your own power as well to heal your favorite body of water. So it's a good page to check out. It's that whole water crystal thing is really very fascinating, and the water healing is a good way to empower yourselves and empower the universe. So, so there's lots of changes on the website, so go take a look at it. And we're also now advertising on Facebook. So if you, and we're on Facebook, Wisdom River Lodge, so add me to your friends list and talk to your friends about me and pass this along. And let's see what we can do to heal our own little corner of the world here. So, and this is kind of leading into what I wanted to talk about on my last show. Is a month or so ago, I was in Walmart here in town, and I heard some people going, "Hey, is that her?" "Yeah, I think it is." "No, really?" "Yeah, that's her." "Well, go talk to her." "No, I'm not going to go talk to her. You go talk to her." "No, I'm not going to go talk to her." So, I know I'm a large woman, and I know that I'm psychic, but I'm not sure why people need to be afraid. So we're going to talk about fear tonight and what fear is. And I've told you a couple of times on this show that if you listen with your heart, there we go, messing up the mic again, sorry guys. If you listen with your heart, no one can lie to you. You'll always know the truth if you can just stay calm within yourself and listen with your heart. One of the things that I've learned along the way is that when I'm afraid, it means that I'm not in balance. I'm not in sync with the universe. I'm out of the flow of life. And we have to kind of look at why we get afraid and what makes us afraid. And fear is something that we generally learn. I watch my 2-year-old grandchild who encounters a new situation and is virtually fearless in every new situation that she's in. And it's not until she gets hurt or someone says to her, "You're going to get hurt," or "That's bad, don't do that," that she starts to learn to become afraid of those situations. So it's like, how did we become afraid of psychics? Knowing that we're all psychic, and we all indeed are, some of us just aren't in tune with it as well as other people are, so we don't recognize it in ourselves. But we're all psychic, and if you think back years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago, and we're talking back into when we first were around, it was our innate ability to be able to understand our environment without words and by just knowing, by being able to feel what was going on. That's what kept us alive. You know, the dinosaurs and stuff sneaking up on us was a big deal, but we could feel them. And, you know, most of us still have a residual physical manifestation of that. And the hair on the back of our neck will stand up sometimes, or we'll get goosebumps when we hear something, or we think something. A lot of people today have dreams that are very profound and can be very revealing about some situation that they're in, and yet they dismiss this as well, I just had a dream. Well, you're actually accessing the same energy system that I access when I'm doing psychic readings. But because it comes as a dream, maybe you don't recognize it as being psychic, or because of where you grew up or how you grew up, you don't recognize that this is something that's just a normal, natural part of you. But it indeed is, and as science is progressing more and more, people like Lynn McTaggart, who wrote a book called The Field, and has taken all of the quantum physicists' work and kind of boiled it down so that people can understand it, although I have to confess I'm having a hard time reading this book. It's very technical in a lot of ways. But she's actually able to take their work and show that this is absolutely normal and something that anyone can do as long as they stay in the flow. They stay in the rhythms of the world and the universe, and that means that you're not afraid. So one of my favorite classes when I do the psychic development teaching is on what I call good and evil. And what would you say if I said to you that there's no such thing as evil? You'd probably say, oh man, she's right out there, huh? Probably think I'm very strange. But evil is not really, evil doesn't really exist. Now, negativity exists. And you say to me, oh, come on, Laura, look at the stuff that's going on in the world. It's absolutely crazy out there. And you're absolutely right. There is a lot of negativity out there. A lot of people are feeling very badly. They're feeling cheated. They're feeling unloved. They're feeling anger. And they're not quite sure what to do with these feelings. So it all comes out in ways that are negative. But everyone is spirit. Everybody here is spirit. And spirit is good at best. It's benign. The entire world is benign, and there are numerous theorists. Harvey Jackins is one of them, who proposed that nothing that happens has any real value or meaning in that it's positive or negative, that everything that happens is actually benign. And it's how we think about it that makes it positive or makes it negative. And in that you read positive, good, negative, evil. And it's just, it's kind of a hard concept to wrap your mind around, especially if something's happened to you that hasn't been fun, hasn't been easy. And, you know, those things, we forget to remember that those things come to us to help us to learn the things that we need. And we don't know 15 or 20 years down the road how the divorce or how the loss of someone that we loved is going to prepare us for that moment that's 15 or 20 years down the road. So we tend to place judgments on the events that happen to us when the reality is these events happen to everyone all the time. People die, people get divorced, people get hurt, people lose their money. It happens to all of us, but when it happens to us, we forget that this is also happening to other people. We think that we're just the only ones. And then we place a value on that and say that, oh, that was a bad thing. Now, the Buddhists tell a story about this whole thing. And they talk about a farmer whose horse ran away, and all the neighbors were like, oh, that's a terrible, terrible thing. And the farmer said, well, you know, we'll see. And so the farmer's son decided that he would help his dad plow the fields, and he went out and pulled the plow. And in that process, the boy broke his leg, and everyone's like, oh my God, how terrible, your horse ran away and your son broke his leg. Well, the son broke his leg, but the army came and was taking the men from the town, and they came to this boy who had broken his leg. He couldn't obviously serve in the army, so they passed over him, and everybody's saying, oh, isn't that wonderful, isn't that wonderful? And the farmer said, well, we'll see. So the whole point behind this story is we don't know what the events that happen in our lives actually mean until time happens. And then we learn. And you know, we may have lost a child 20 years ago only to have to help our own children deal with the loss of their child. And without that prior training, we might not be able to help in a way that is beneficial to our own, to the living children. So we don't know, but we tend to assign value. And this whole idea behind the value is a concept that came about. I'm trying to be tactful, which is not usually my best skill here. It has come about when a group of individuals took a look around, and you know, we were all intuitive, and we all understood that life was benign, and we were in charge of ourselves at that point. We were empowered people, and we could control our own lives. And some people looked around and decided that that was a bad thing. That if people were able to control their own lives, then the people couldn't be controlled. So they set about very systematically to turn that over so that we would believe that we weren't able to control our own lives and that we would lose this intuitive ability. And you can look back in history and watch this happen. Crusades occurred. People were being killed in the name of God because they didn't do what these people thought they should do. That's history. I'm not making this up. We burned women and drowned women and tortured women because they were witches. And yet they were intuitive beings who were very much in control of their own emotional state, their own spiritual way. So as time progressed, and these events reinforced that there was such a thing as evil. And the women who were intuitive and able to be powerful were evil. And this is how we have, over time, lost our ability to be intuitive. And you know, people today still think that this is something that's very, very evil, that it's something that shouldn't be. And people think that because I'm psychic, that I'm going to look at my watch and tell them when they're going to drop dead. Well, I don't do that. I can't do that. I don't predict the future. And the thing that I know about your future is that you have a number of different pathways. So I can maybe see one pathway that you might travel in the future, but that's not the only pathway you have. That's what choice is all about. You know, you have the choice to move forward in this direction, or you have the choice to move backwards in this direction. And that's not something that a psychic can affect. That's not something that anyone but yourself can affect. So, and I'm kind of wandering off the subject here, but there are people today who think that this is evil, and yet I've been doing this since I was 3 years old, and I'd ask you to go look at a 3-year-old and tell me that they have lost their innocence, that they are evil. I haven't, well, I don't know. There's one child in our family. No, he's not. He's just a very precocious young man. I think he's smarter than the rest of us. But I don't know of any 3-year-olds that I would categorize as evil, and I would challenge you to find one that you would think is evil. So anyway, this whole thing about evil was designed to control you. And the way that you're controlled with evil is through your fear. If you're afraid of something, then it's bad. It's bad, and you're not going to pay any attention to it. And you know, people don't come up to me and talk to me because they're afraid. And I think you know, the people who do talk to me would tell you that, all right, I'm weird. Okay, I'm weird. I think very differently than most people because I don't believe in evil. I think that that's something that man has made to control us, and I'm not going to buy it, and I'm not afraid either. I'll walk up to you and talk to you. I'm not afraid, but wow, I love it when I stop to think and can't start again. So evil has been created to control you, and fear is the tool that they use to control you. It would be an amazing thing if everyone in the world understood that the power of the universe lies within them, and that nothing and no one can take that away from them. And how you use that power is entirely up to you. And there are some people in this world who use this power in a very negative way, and it appears to be evil. But that's, you know, it's hard for me to tell you that this is an illusion. Evil is an illusion, but it really is. And people, those of you who understand what I'm saying, I'm preaching to the choir. The rest of you, I would ask that you kind of start watching around and see if in your own families, people are trying to make you afraid. They want you to be afraid, because when you're afraid, then you're going to do what they want you to do. And that's something that's just a small piece of how this all works, and it has pervaded our entire society. And nobody has called me 664-4408 to pick up the pendulum for last time's homework, which I told you had to do with auras. I'll admit, I'm a strange person, but I'm no one to be afraid of. I'm not going to tell you anything bad. As a matter of fact, you know, I get paid to do psychic readings. I'm not going to do a psychic reading on you out in public, just for the heck of it. That's not my speed. And you can walk up to me and say, hey, I want you to do a psychic reading, and I'm going to suggest that you call me and make an appointment. But that's not what I do. And the other thing, please, I've heard this as well. I don't read minds. Okay, I may be clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient. Remember what those terms mean? I may have clear vision, clear seeing, clear knowing, but I don't read minds. I don't do mental telepathy. So I don't know what you're thinking. Now, your aura will give me some clues as to whether you're happy or upset, but I don't read minds. So if you would please just you know, feel free to walk up and talk to me. If you see me about town, you may see me walking my dogs. You may see me at the post office. You may see me at Walmart. You can see me just about anywhere. But please feel free, and I'm going to start carrying a pendulum with me so that if you walk up and say, hey, Laura, I saw you on TV, as long as I've still got the pendulum in my pocket, I will take that pendulum out and it's yours. And then we can have a conversation and you'll realize, okay, she's a little strange, but she's nobody to be afraid of. And again, don't let your fear control you. And I'm hearing that people are afraid to come out to this spirit circle because, oh my God, what's going to happen? Well, I work only in white light, so come on out. Not a thing is going to happen to you, and you might be amazed, and you might be touched by a little bit of grace. So the homework for this week, over the next 2 weeks, now the next show, 21st, and I'm going to keep giving pendulums away. I've got a bunch of them, and they're pretty nice. They're not the fanciest things in the world, but they're really pretty nice. So the homework for this week is to start watching yourself. And when you feel afraid, take a look at what's going on and who's trying to control you. And then I want you to give us a call next week, and let's talk a little bit more about this and talk a little bit more about what we can do so that we can start opening up to the universe and to the flow of the universe and to the flow of grace, and not be afraid of what's going on around us and in our lives. And then and we can talk some more about all of this hype. You remember in 2000, when we were going into 2000 and oh my God, all the computers were going to crash? Fear-based. Somebody wanted us to be afraid, and somebody was going to make money off of that. Think about that. Did it happen? It didn't. So look for ways that people are trying to make you afraid, and ways that you can kind of sidestep that and stay in the flow and feel good about yourself and keep going on. In the meantime, nobody got the pendulum tonight. The homework was on auras, and we'll talk some more about auras next time. In the meantime, have a great 2 weeks. Stay well. Be healthy. Come on out to the Spirit Circle at the Houghton Mansion on Friday, 7 o'clock, and we'll see you there. In the meantime, we're going to leave the lights on in the lodge for you. So take care, visit the website, and we'll see you in, 2 weeks? 2 weeks. So, bye.